review of minutes for the, April the 20th. Motion to approve. Motion,
Motion to approve.
minutes for,
Motion to approve.
Second.
the motion second. Discussions, concerns, questions, comments
Well, yes,
on the minutes.
on the minutes.
Ms. Evans.
Okay. But I guess the question would be, is this something that's going to come up anyway because of, the contract with our consultant?
Yes,
Okay, so I can, okay.
all right. Any other questions, comments, concerns on the minutes for April the 22nd? 2020? Ms. Evans? Here now, roll call, Mark.
Hudson,
Approve.
Clark,
Here. What was it?
Approval of last minutes.
Minutes of the last meeting.
Yes, it
approved.
is.
Hall,
Yes,
Adams,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
motion carried.
communication.
Madam Chair and members, in your packet on page 4, there's notice of the National Brownfield Training Conference, which will be coming up in August. Thank you to Commissioner Member Adams for sending this on over for the agenda. You'll note that there are 3 nights of attendance at this. If any of you choose to go, that's August 8th through the 11th. There is a website address on the attachment that you can go to for information about the conference, what presentations are going to take place, who's going to be there, etc. This is an event that some of you have taken part in the past at places such as New Orleans, and I believe you went to the East Coast one time or to Detroit for another event. This is something that you have budgeted for in the past, and it is something that if you choose to, we can continue to budget for in this upcoming year. It's an informational piece primarily.
Yes. I'd like to put on record now, how many, once you read it and see and think about it,
I know I want to go.
okay, anybody think they might want to go? Look at the date.
You want to know the whole, all 3, the 8 to 11?
Mhm.
Interested, but I would have to take the dates away and confirm.
Okay,
We have plenty of time for
Yeah.
registration. I would encourage you to visit the website if you think you have any interest whatsoever, and perhaps you could get back to me between now and your next meeting. And at your next meeting, then we will be budgeting and we can plug in whatever we need to for that.
how much we put in our budget for a trip?
For this year, we had $6,000, and that went unused. We're getting ready to prepare your budget for the forthcoming year. That'll happen next month.
Yes, because that's $6,000 not gonna go. No, if 6 of them wanna go.
Question. The funds that were still sitting there and we haven't went anywhere, were those some of the funds for Manchester Bidwell training and trip?
No.
It was all, those are set aside apart from?
Those are still being held. You
Okay,
have those funds
okay.
still available.
Okay, I have a question. I have, Commissioner Isom would like to go and, Tiana. And she really needs to go and we need to cover it. She's over academic skills. She's the chief academic officer of Benton Harbor High School area.
We're talking about the Brownfield
Yeah.
Training Conference.
No.
That's what we're talking about
Manchester
right now.
Bidwell. No, okay, okay. I thought we were talking about just budgeting.
We will next month.
Okay.
Yeah, when you say the date is? The date for this
The
conference?
date for this conference is August 8th through the 11th.
Oh, we'll have time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
The
thank
sec-
you.
The second item under communications is a request to place property located at 227 Territorial Road into a brownfield redevelopment plan. Included within your packet, page 5, is a letter. The letter is from Thomas Henderson. Mr. Henderson is here this evening. He's sitting right back here behind me. And his request is that this property be placed, as I say, into a brownfield plan. This is located at the corner of Territorial and 5th Street. It's the old American Laundry site, for those of you who've been around here for a while.
Yeah.
The site is in a bit of disrepair, although Mr. Henderson has been diligently trying to clean the site up and removing portions of the building that were no longer habitable. Mr. Henderson is here, and I'm sure he might like to say a
Mr.
few words.
Henderson, would you like to come forward?
Not really, I'm not a big crowd guy.
Is this the gentleman that was on a forklift the other day?
Possibly, might have been me. I'm just a small guy out here. We've had that building for a few years, and over the years, I tear down a section every time through the winter a little bit as I can. Like I said, I'm a very small guy. But we'd like to start putting money back into it, and we're hoping that this might be a good fit for it, so.
I think so too. I mean, it was an old cleaners. I mean, in anything that we can save and salvage, we need to be.
Absolutely.
We got brick guys work well. If you see me on a forklift, you see the brick guys,
Yeah.
he's
Saving and salvaging what they can, because those old bricks look good.
and he's looking at
Yeah.
it's looking really nice. Yes, sir.
I think it would be a perfect project for us. Are you, or have you spoke with anyone about the extent of the involvement that you're seeking from us as far as being
Not
specific?
quite yet, no.
I think that it would probably behoove you to find out every place that we can help you, and let's start assessing those conditions. I think that Mark could probably give you some of the statutes or what have you, but I think it's a perfect project for what we are
Good.
here for.
That's what we want,
Absolutely.
right? That's why I'm here,
We want to see some life down there.
right?
Mark,
Mr. Hudson, we have had communication, and we have discussed his property and the anticipated improvements that he would like to make, and how the Brownfield Authority could play a part in that role should you choose to. I've explained that this is not a grant program, that this requires taxable investment on his part in order to work, or job creation, or some combination of both.
Mhm.
But those are the hot buttons that you would be looking for: job creation, taxable investment. Mr. Henderson is a local business owner. He owns Henderson Brothers Tree Service, located out near the airport. It's a very large operation. I was commenting to Ms. Hull before this meeting started that the type of equipment that this man has out there is just incredible. I'm astounded by what you can do up in 90-foot trees. But I'd be happy to sit down and talk with him a little further. In anticipation, Mr. Hudson and authority members, that you might have some interest in this, I did FOIA the file from the state on this site. This is a known site of contamination because it was an old laundry site.
Yeah.
And I did do a review of that file in anticipation that you might have some questions, or as you go forward, you might have more questions. So,
2 points real quick. Number one,
yes, Mr. Hudson.
and this isn't making you his consultant on our dime, but I'm just saying from general information. That's why I said if he refers to the statute, you can't tell him any more than what's in the statute. But perfect point of reference. Number two, from your expertise, perchlorethylene, which is, I guess everybody's moved to Valclean now for the last 25, 30 years because of it. What's the general cleanup and remediation procedure that you're familiar with in that type of an operation?
It's a bad actor. Mr. Hudson's referring to perchloroethylene, which is the primary constituent used in old dry cleaning operations. It's a carcinogenic compound. It's no longer used today. It's been banned. One of the features of this compound is that it sinks in water. It's heavier than water. So when it goes through the soil, if it's released, a tank ruptures or a tank leaks or it's lost onto the ground, it goes through the soil, it hits the water table, and then sinks through the water table, and then sits on the bottom down to, it could be 80, 90 feet. And from there, it acts just like water on the ground surface. It runs to the lowest area of that underlying clay, which makes it very difficult to find, very difficult to chase, and very expensive to clean up. Mr. Henderson did not cause this problem.
Right.
Therefore, he doesn't have the obligations that someone who may have caused it
Right.
would. The EPA has already investigated the perimeter areas of this property, and the EPA has concluded that there are no imminent health threats to the property owners and users of properties around this site. But that's not to say it's been cleaned up. There's just no imminent health
Right.
threats.
Are you saying that encapsulation is something that could be a remediation? I mean, I'm not familiar
We
with,
really wouldn't know until some of
Assessment.
the
Site
assessment is
assessment.
done before.
well, encapsulation is just going over it. Either you're gonna take it out or you're gonna go over it. Those are only
I
two
don't think
things you can do.
they're-
And the reason I'm asking this is because I think before we get into it, I mean, we only got $1 million. Okay, so come on. This type, from my understanding, that perk can be a rough baby. So I just think that we should move with that caveat in your response, in response to what you're talking about. But I think it'd be a great project for us. We may not be able to handle it either.
My question would be,
Just a moment, he still has.
No, that's it. I'm finished.
That's it, all right, now, Commissioner Adams?
thank you, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
My question would be, does this bother or interrupt the aquifers or our groundwater in general?
It could. Yes, that.
Ms. Adams, the groundwater is already impacted in that area, not just from this site, but from
All
other
of them.
historical operations
yeah.
that have happened around that site area. Fortunately, however, nobody is drinking the groundwater
Right.
in that area. We're all hooked up to the municipal supply.
Okay, so my next question would be, EPA knowing this, are they putting forth some funds that we can apply for to help with this endeavor?
Ms. Adams, the EPA is not necessarily in the business of granting out funds for these types of projects. The EPA has already expended a great deal of funds in trying to determine if there was an imminent health threat
Okay.
outside of the perimeter of the building. Mr.
Mhm.
Hudson is referring to primarily
Right,
the
right.
building envelope, which is still an unknown.
Okay,
Outside of the building envelope has been deemed no imminent threat by the EPA. I say that though, and funding is available on an annual basis if you want to apply for a competitive grant.
okay, and I guess that's where I was going. Knowing that so many things have changed, especially with the Justice 40 initiative, that the federal government is actually putting more funding out for us to be able to apply for. And if something like this fits, then we can apply to, I don't know.
Madam Chair, and
That would be up to him to lead that charge.
you can apply for, you stand a much greater chance of success, in my experience, applying for these types of grants, whether they're federal or state, if you have already put some skin in the game.
Right.
And the skin in the game that the agencies would be looking for from us as a local unit of government is, did you include it in a brownfield plan?
Okay,
That's what I was gonna ask.
and that's the first
And that's
thing.
what
Yeah.
Mr. Henderson is, his first step is
First
asking
thing.
for. Putting it in a plan doesn't obligate you to anything.
Okay,
It just makes it possible for you to proceed to the next step.
okay.
I was so moved that we go ahead and
Just a moment,
proceed.
please.
Oh, excuse me.
Mark, how many, properties have there been any more properties like this that we need to grandfather in our plan? We have quite a few, but we haven't grandfathered any more in lately.
We have not put a property in a brownfield plan in probably better part of 4 to 5 years. And just for the benefit of some of the newcomers here, the process for putting a property in a plan is first, you direct me to draft up that new chapter of your
Right.
plan.
Yeah.
I will present it to you, answer any questions you might have. You will either vote to accept it or not. If you accept it, then it goes up the chain to, I believe, the Planning and Economic Development Committee, if I'm not mistaken, for review, city level. They, again, will decide whether to advance it or reject it. And if they decide to advance it, it goes before city commission. The city commission would take final action on it.
Do you work with that in conjunction with the land bank? Or does it have anything to do
No,
with
land
that?
bank is reserved for tax reverted properties.
Okay, All right then. Let's see, just a moment. You want to have something to say?
Yes. I see you talking about food truck and mixed use. What are you trying to do next? Like, what are you really trying to do?
To start, the little front corner section, I think would make a beautiful little courtyard with a couple little food trucks. I think it would bring people back into the community for sure. It would open up a couple jobs. It wouldn't raise the taxes too much, I would imagine, but it would clean up that area. The rest of the building would be put into some type of storage until we could figure out exactly what we can and can't do with that property. But as far as some open terrace, I thought would be pretty, we'd get something moving on it faster than later.
Okay, anyone else?
Are there any ordinance for food truck in here? Is this ordinance?
Ordinance.
It has nothing to do with us.
I have
That's it.
no idea.
Yes, yes.
It has nothing to do with us.
That's it. Anything else? All right.
I'd like to move that we,
Support.
I have to get the motion,
Yeah.
that we, moved, that we bring 227 into a Brownfield, agreement, and that Mark go ahead with the template to do just that, so that,
Thank
we
you.
can be
Have a
making the
second?
property
Wait,
use.
is that to enter into an agreement or to put it within a brownfield plan?
Put it in the
I
plan.
took that, you put it in the
Yeah.
plan.
Support.
Any other questions, concerns? Hearing none, roll call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clark,
Yes.
Hull,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes,
and chair, motion passes.
Thank you. Public comments. This portion is open for public comments. Is there none? Hearing none. Public comments are closed. Committee report.
We have none, Madam Chair.
None. Treasurer's report.
Madam Chair, your financial reports from Plant Moran for the months of April and May are included in pages 6 through 13. I'd like to direct you to page 12, please, which is your balance sheet as of May 31st. About halfway down on page 12, you will see a double underline, total assets of a little over $888,800. I could then direct you to page 13, which is your income statement for the end of May. The right-hand column on page 13 is your year-to-date. And it shows a little over $231,000 in total income. We had budgeted $236,000, so we're about $5,000 under what we had budgeted. It shows expenses for your professional services of little over $27,000. We had budgeted a little over $32,000, so your expenses are also down by about $5,000. That's good. Revenues are down by 5, your expenses are down by 5. It shows your total expenditures, those including the reimbursements that you made throughout the year, and the disbursement of $75,000 towards the Ox Creek Corridor project, and the release of the $123,654 that you had been holding for reimbursement. Gives you total expenses of $289,589, and a year-to-date net income of negative $58,500. Had you not, and I've said this now in each of the past several meetings, had you not made that $75,000 contribution and/or not made the release of $123,654 for the accumulated reimbursement on the Market Street Flats area project, you would be ahead of budget on your net income.
So,
Okay. Any questions? Ms. Adams, Commissioner Adams?
we released $123,000 that we had been holding. Those receipts came up.
Yes, ma'am, that happened many months ago.
And I think that's when I requested to see those receipts. Who has the receipts?
I have scanned copies
Okay.
of the receipts.
Okay.
If you'd like another set, I'd be happy to send more.
This is where the homes are down on Market Street.
Correct.
It sits on Cornerstone's property.
I don't know whose property.
I'm aware that it's Cornerstone's property. And we are working on how to actually fix that, because if a person purchases a property, and if somebody can take a property and build on somebody else's land, there's something wrong with that type of separation with the foreclosures that happened back when the boom of the economy went took a dive. So I'm just it is what it is. Yeah. So we're done with them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Would you like me to send you another set of the receipts?
I think I have them. I think I have them.
too.
I think I have them. Thank you, Mark.
Any others? Hearing no concerns? Would like a motion?
Accept, move to accept.
Need a second?
Would,
Any other questions, concerns? Roll call?
Hall,
Yes?
Adams,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Hudson,
yes,
Clark.
Yes.
Motion carries. Madam Chair and members, you have a payables listing that's provided as page 14. Summary is on page 14. Total expenditures, $2,134.36. That's 2 months of advisory services and 1 month of your compiled financial statements. We're looking for your authorization to pay those bills.
Need a motion?
so move.
Support.
Second. Questions, concerns? Hearing none, roll call?
Adams,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes,
Clark,
Yes.
Hall.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Old business, Mark?
Madam Chair and members, this is an old business item. That's my contract, your technical advisor's contract. At the April meeting, you agreed to extend my contract by up to 2 years, the objective of which was during the first year, I would spend time working with Santana Warren, your treasurer, to slowly transition the administrative functions over to her. Ms. Warren is now running for city commissioner, and her potential for a dual role is probably, if not a conflict of interest, will be perceived by many as a conflict of interest, being paid by this authority at the same time she is a city commissioner. Therefore, she has withdrawn her interest. I believe I'm stating this correctly.
Correct. And I think I want to make sure Mark is clear when he says perceived. It's not really,
okay.
but you know how people are. It's more about the perceived of the public, so that's why.
No, I don't know
But
how
it's not,
people
it's
are.
not breaking the law.
It's actually policy and procedure.
But see, that's.
But there's
the
nothing
Okay, just a
illegal
moment,
if
just
she
a
were to
moment.
resign from
Just
this
a moment.
council.
Were you finished?
She
Yeah.
could do it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm looking for some direction, or at least some directive that this body can work towards to find a solution.
Okay. Now,
Okay, so what my suggestion would be, when we talked about this in April, some members of the board, even though it was inaccurate, thought that we did not have the job posted long enough, and although it was posted for the 30 days. So my recommendation could be we could consider reposting it. The other option would be if someone else wanted to do what I wanted to do, I was going to train for a year and then learn the role. That could be another option as well. So does that make sense? Option 1 could be reposted for 30 days, or option 2 could be if we had another candidate that was willing to go under Mark's wing and learn how to do the role as what I had agreed to do. That could be another option.
Are you sure that option one is off the
I'm gonna
table?
pick
Okay,
and choose my battles, and
No
I feel
problem,
like
no problem.
it's very difficult to
No
change
problem.
the perception of other people who don't have the knowledge of the accuracy of the laws.
okay. Well, in that respect,
Yeah.
then I think that we're back to where we were.
Correct.
So we're just talking about moving forward. So I
Yeah.
think we should go back to Mark again and seek input as to where he's at. I mean, we know that he's working under he doesn't want to be tied down or what have you. So I'd like to hear what he has in mind or would suggest.
she'll probably tell us, Miss, okay, I'm gonna let Miss Adams speak, and then he'll probably speak on all of it once they get to it. Okay, Commissioner Adams?
I was one that didn't think that it ran long enough. And, I stand by that, and I think that it needs to run again, and
Okay.
that's just my opinion.
So be it.
So when it was
Clark?
posted, was it posted for 30 days?
Yes.
I think we should do 2 months.
16.
Did you think what?
Should
Can
list it for 2 months. That's more.
Can we possibly add to that the fact that, well, not the fact that, but how helpful it would be if a person had, Brownfield, law experience?
Hello?
Sure.
Yeah.
All of that.
Because they're actually Brownfield attorneys. And I couldn't find that lady's information for nothing. But I think she was from Cuba, but she was always over in Chicago doing business for their Brownfield. Yeah.
Okay, we just having a comment. I personally think, we could even do this in 2 parts.
Hmm.
We could even do it in 2 parts if we want to put out for someone with the background of, the training of contamination. Until she can definitely handle the other part, that's no problem. If we want to do it in 2 parts, if we put it back out again and just put, maybe divide it up until she can learn from the other part, if it's overwhelming, that other part, what you're talking about, the training for the contamination.
Ms. Hall,
You understand what I'm saying?
I
think she says that-
If I could have,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you were here, but we had actually divided it up into 2
Okay.
parts. So Mark was gonna work with me on the financial
Yes.
piece, and then it would be forever before I learned all the EPA and all that
See,
piece. We knew that
this
that
is
was
why.
going, but
Yeah.
see, right now.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be this confusing.
Okay, okay.
Just
She
put it out.
talking, but she has to go before.
So that was what that initial
Okay.
agreement was, and that's where people have a problem with. So I'm withdrawing myself completely, so there's no
No.
need to.
Excuse
to
me,
have an
excuse me.
argument.
We
Great.
must respect the
But I am.
honorable.
So what we're saying is, so basically, we had the request out there for over 30 days. And so I think I don't know if you're at the meeting, and we can't beg people to apply for something they don't want to do.
We just do our
Being
part.
realistic. So we would have to hope that we have a different outcome. And I don't know if Mark wants to speak to it, but we only had 2 people that responded.
Okay,
And I wanted to see their
okay.
stuff.
Now, let's say this, we always say we want to train someone in-house, in our community, have the knowledge, or to get the knowledge, to work here and provide job opportunities for people that live in the city and work with the city. So now we get ready to put it back out again?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, you're the board member, but huh? So what?
She stepped out.
No, she didn't say that.
Not only, Madam Chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
as an elected official and knowing our city charter, there's some things that we can do and some things that we just can't do because it clearly brings about a conflict of interest. There's nobody's opinion or anything having to do with all that. It's just the right order of things. And I think that we're wasting too much time on this. I think that if we can get a consensus that this needs to be sent back out for job search or what have you for 60 days, that would be fine, as well as 2-part to get someone that you're willing to allow to shadow you.
Yeah.
And we can just keep it moving.
So be it.
I do got a question though.
Okay, Mr. Carr.
When they was posted, where did it posted at?
We posted it on the city's website and we emailed it to probably 10 different firms that I'm familiar with, several of whom were located in this community and several of which were not. Some were located in Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo.
So we did post it on Indeed.
On what?
Indeed.
No, we posted on the city's website.
So can we put it on Indeed for people to see, other people to
I'm
see?
not familiar with that site.
Oh,
Can I say something?
He's got the floor.
Okay.
yeah, I think you should post it on Indeed. I know that's a familiar website where a lot of people look for a job is professional. They've got snap a job, got different sites out there.
Mr. Clark, if you can send me something on that, I'd be happy to.
I think anyone with suggestions like that would be helpful.
Yes, okay, Ms. Allen,
I
I finished, Ms. Rupp.
I want everybody to pay attention, pay very close attention. There's something going on that none of us can control. I've had 3 doctor's appointments in a row, 3 days. And listening to these professionals, they need professionals that are not showing up, these people are disappearing. Not just in the trade skills, in other things, there's a lack
Does that
of
have
a
to do
lot of
with our
stuff.
topic
So
on the floor?
I'm just saying that we got to do whatever we need to do
Oh,
to
yeah,
get things done,
I think that's
period.
fait accompli. Put it back out, take suggestions
Yeah.
from board members or whoever
I think
as
she
to
just-
possible sites, and let's keep it moving.
I think she just made another point. It's a lack of people out here.
But what does that have to do with
We're
the
gonna keep
price of
searching
tea?
for 'em.
Yes, we have to continue to move forward.
Yeah.
We're not trying to judge or,
Whoever answers the call.
Yeah.
Take a look
Okay,
at
I
it.
have the floor, please. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We know that we want to work with people within our community. And if we can't, we can't.
there you go.
Absolutely. And I agree if it's something where we can't do it, but if there's a chance that we think it's a conflict or not a conflict, we don't want to give it a try to see where it works. But she's smart enough to know that if it don't work, she can't do it. Now, I'm going to
She is bowed out. Why are we still talking about that?
Okay.
But I'm gonna go back to the city. They put it out about the finance director. We was going.
Point of order.
Moran, because they need, that
And
finance
we are
director-
still going to.
Yes, that finance director came in here. And I don't know what he did.
What does that have to do
I know
with
he
the
was
point
gone.
of order
And
on
we
the
give our
floor?
own a try sometimes.
We have
But
to give people what they need to
Okay.
succeed.
The board wants to put it back out.
Yeah,
Put the motion on the floor. Put the motion on the floor.
I make a motion that we do a 60-day job search
Support.
for a Brownfield consultant,
It's been moved
and as
supported.
well as allowing whoever would like to take on the endeavor of shadowing Mark for a year.
And to add, I would like to post it on Indeed too.
Please give me that information.
Yeah, I'm working on it now.
Okay. Any other more comments, concerns? Hearing none?
Hudson,
aye.
Clark,
Alright,
Hall,
No.
Adams,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
motion carries, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Next, new business?
Madam Chair, this item was requested by Commissioner Member Mary Alice Adams. I believe that she is withdrawing the portion about the High Stepper building. Would like to talk a little bit about 536 Colfax.
Yes. Wait a minute, say that again.
536 Colfax,
What about it?
you had asked for that to be placed on the agenda.
Yes, yes. This was one of the properties that, the last grant that we got for 83,000 that, was given to those out of Saginaw. And they did, remediation or what have you. It was eligible for, actually I asked that it be put in. And I filled out the application, and to no avail, it didn't happen. And this was during the time that the county of Berrien had gotten, I think, 2-point-some odd million to actually remove lead contamination, the thing that's going on now. And that's been what, every bit of probably 10 years?
Yeah.
So here we are again with the same property that the city has held at bay from the owners achieving their goal.
Mhm.
Trying 10 years to get a lead line located. That a city worker couldn't even do that. It just got taken care of this year, after almost 12 years. So I guess I'm asking that we put together and allow some form of small interest loan. And not only for this property, but for others in the community.
Okay. You finished, Commissioner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Hudson?
property at 536 Colfax is being discussed. Who's the owner?
Jesse Adams.
Have him to come in the same manner that
Excuse me.
Mr. Adams came and asked for that property to be put into a brownfield plan.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't think it's a moot discussion.
Excuse me, I think that one of the things with what was going on was that you could even be a Brownfield Authority Board member and participate. Is that still the same or has it changed?
The owner of the property should be coming here.
That was for Mark.
Yeah, Steve made that question too.
Yes, a member can be a participant in a.
Then I rest my case because I'm an owner too.
Okay, well then, if you are making that suggestion, I think we should move on it.
Go ahead, Mark. You want to know?
To enter into, yes.
You would like to have the property included within a brownfield plan?
Yes.
Make a formal request to this board, and I
I
think it
just
should be
did.
done.
But she can
And not
call
in
you,
verbal.
Mark.
We don't do
She can call
business
you.
verbal.
I mean, she can call you.
Yes,
Just
absolutely.
apply for this.
Yes. And it should be, we should accommodate it.
And he'll bring it all over and put kind of question.
And I guess the next question would be, we still working on those applications, when will they be?
For grant funding,
Or small loan?
I hope to have those at your next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Did I miss something? Grant funding? Loan program, grant funding?
Those are the things that we're eligible to do with Brownfield dollars
Oh,
for redevelopment.
That's revival kind of.
Several meetings ago, Mr. Hudson, this authority, I believe was, you were absent, had asked for an application process to be put together for those who come to this body seeking financial support, whether they're seeking a grant or whether they're seeking a low interest loan or something that you have the ability to do under the statute. And I was directed to prepare that application and come up with that type of a program. I have yet to do that. It's a work in process.
Based upon Act 381.
Correct.
Based upon what?
Act 381, that's in our bylaw. And with the letter that they sent us, and he's gonna work within that and put up something so that he can work with the funding sources.
I don't know it all, but I do read
Yeah,
through the act
Yeah.
and try to keep up with the updates and not only that, but in other communities as well.
yes.
And that's Act 831.
No, Act 381. So the letter that they last sent us, you have to,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's what you were talking about, Commissioner Adams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually taking on our own endeavor of working with Plan Economic Development to do our own development of some small homes or something.
how does that fit in the brownfield?
For us to actually do the, infrastructure as we did down there at, Harbor Flat.
Haywood Well?
No,
No.
down there where the homes are, that we just released $123,000 to last month before.
Yamaha Place?
No,
Which one?
not that. Cornerstone, the new homes down by River Terrace.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
If we could actually work with our economic development department and start working on these snag-a-tooth properties throughout our community and building some affordable housing and putting some folks back on, allowing them the opportunity to own a home and buy into their own community with the hopes that they take better care of it than renters. Usually when a person has ownership of something, they usually do care more.
So are you saying that you want us to be a developer, or you want us to have spur development? Which one?
Both.
Can we do it? One?
You can do both.
Long as we can do it. Okay.
Who's going to develop the specifics, the synopsis, prospectus, or whatever that it takes
We're
to?
just entertaining it right now, and this is the first stage because I think that we need to be moving very rapidly on the second phase of what we need to do with seeking a developer or a partner.
We could hire. Okay. Anything else, Mark?
I believe now we're under member comments, Madam Chair.
Oh, Commissioner Adams, are you finished with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we're going into members' comments. Commissioner Hudson?
No, I've said
Commissioner
everything I want to say.
Adams? Yeah, Commissioner Adams?
I just want to thank this body for all the work that we've done and all of the things that we have achieved over the years, because there's been much.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to our next ventures of development.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Clark, Commissioner Clark?
Well, yeah, I just want to say that I think 60, hopefully the 60 days and the adding of putting in the opening on Indeed will probably get more value, more people who take the job. That's something about
Oh, okay.
I don't have any comments, thank you.
No.
Madam Chair, I have a couple, if I may, just reminders. Primarily, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be discussing budget at the next meeting. If you have any specific budget requests or anything you'd like to see included that hasn't been in the past, please feel free to email me over the course of the next several weeks. I'm also going to be initiating the annual MEDC reporting, which is required every year at this time. That will be happening over the course of the next 60 days. Senate Bill 0129 is the one that is the most recent, the most current reiteration of the Brownfield statute, Act 381.
02.
0129. It is the one that now adds housing as an eligible expense.
Okay.
I mentioned this a few months ago to you. That was just pushed back out of committee. It was passed from the House back to the Senate yesterday.
Okay.
My expectation is that it is going to go through, and you'll see that signed into law within the next 60 days.
Yes.
More to come on that. The last item, Mr. Little couldn't be here today. However, he wanted me to apprise you that at the next meeting, he expects to be requesting from you the transfer of ownership of that Water Street property, the one we call the depot site, to the city. They would like to acquire it for $1. They would like to convert that property into a electric car charging station facility.
Why can't we do
He
that?
will be discussing that at your next meeting.
Why we
That's all
can't
I
do
have,
that?
Madam Chair.
You are doing it.
I mean,
You the city of
Yeah.
Benton, Harbor, Brownfield development. You're doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to the members that's been here and been working and coming. I appreciate all the comments that you've made and how you worked to make this a good Brownfield. There's something else I was going to say. But Mark, we had to have you for 2 years. Oh, this is what I was going to say. All that other stuff. More money in this budget. Yeah. Because food went up.
yeah.
The lunch prices have gone up. You cannot get a meal for $10 or more for breakfast.
Uber.
You need Uber. You gotta have, I don't know how if they will do the transportation. But when you travel and then the prices, if they're gonna go, get your application in early that you're gonna go because your fares will be cheaper to go there. And, but make sure you up $6,000, if 6 people wanna go there, that's not enough $1,000 person, no way. And how many nights is it?
Three
I
nights.
paid
no.
almost $1,000
You
over
gotta
a
have-
hotel
You
room
got to have at least $5,000.
in Baltimore. What?
5 times
For
9
3.
is 45. You need to put that budget up to $60,000.
Man.
Okay, anything else?
In response directly to what you're saying and the fact that costs are going up, it is incumbent on anyone that requests from this committee traveling funds that they be made aware of basic protocol. You use monies, go to a convention, you should be prepared to come back here, provide the documentation which indicates where the money was used. We should be able to have some type of a synopsis as to what was covered, what meetings you attended, where you learned something, how it can help us benefit as a Brownfield in moving forward and getting stronger. If that is not done, I don't think there should be any money spent. People should use their own personal funds to go to wherever they want to go. So with our monies, there should be that protocol, and I will work with you, Mark, if so necessary, so that when we're spending monies, we got some meat for it.
Mark, what I want you to do based upon that, get some body cam.
I'm not asking for your money, so you don't need to check me, but it is for those who are asking.
Madam Chair,
Okay.
I've always brought back
Absolutely.
everything that.
We didn't hear anything from our brother's keeper.
Oh, yes, you did. You were paying attention.
What? I don't see anything written. What does Mark have in the file?
Madam Chair, may I,
Zero.
Mark, Madam Chair, can we actually have, because I really love the fact that we had, our own space.
Yeah.
At events like this. Yeah, we were all in. Being participants in what Benton Harbor's Brownfield Authority Board has been doing. And the growth that it has spurred in this community. It was wonderful to have our logo, but I guess you were then, CECT or somebody, but yeah.
I'd be happy to look into it. What the booth
Of how we
space
can do
costs,
that,
et cetera.
yes, have a tent and literature
Right.
and some update books.
And a purpose
Not-
for
not-
it,
Not,
a
not,
mission, a goal.
not, and I still have some of those ink pens too. I still have a box of our pens. I save stuff like that. Because they were meant for the purpose intended. And I intend
What was
for
the
them to be
purpose?
used for the purpose.
What was the purpose?
You need a pen?
I got one
Okay,
from
then
the
why you asking?
bank, because you mentioned that it was in
Okay, you got
use
it.
for that, so
Okay. and
substantiate
then-
if you're gonna say it.
Okay, just a moment, Commissioner Clark, he has something you want to say.
So Mark, when you go to that concert in Detroit,
Oh, yeah,
do you book the room or we gotta
you
book
do
the?
everything, you do everything.
Okay.
Give us some good room.
I mean,
I'm not a travel agent.
I was getting ready to
Right,
say it,
right.
come on, move to
we might be
adjourn.
able to get
Wait a
Tiffany
minute, who
too.
gonna get us, who gonna
We
do it?
might be
Yeah,
able to
come
get
on,
Tiffany
let's
to
go.
help us.
What do you mean? You grown.
We might,
21?
we might be able
You
to.
can't book, you shouldn't go.
Madam Clerk, Madam Chair, we might be
Come
able to
on.
get our city clerk to help us with that. Especially if
Move.
she's looking for, a deputy clerk. And not only that, Mr. Little has an assistant now. I'm
Oh,
sure we
great.
can find someone to help us
It's
out.
not super difficult.
Move,
Exactly.
move to adjourn.
Exactly.
Just a moment, you
Well,
haven't got it yet.
Well, the reason I asked, so I know some places they do that.
Right.
Some places don't allow you to book,
That's right.
so they wanna make sure you use the funds. So
That's
that's
right.
all.
That's usually we do, they do book it for
That
us,
was-
we don't have to worry about
That,
it.
that was
You can
awesome.
show the receipts and get it.
Forward to.
But I know.
Bring back a report
Okay,
in
move to
writing, no
adjourn.
more your
Miss
verbal
adjourn.
report.
Second.
Okay, move to-
Aye.
Buddy.
Listen, ain't nobody paying us to do this.
Okay, I ain't got not one paycheck.
Is the mic on?
Neither have
Since
I,
This
twenty
is free.
oh two.
Bring it
but
up
you
after
asked
this.
for it. You campaigned for it. Okay, meeting
And
has
I've
been
been doing my
adjourned.
job.
Bring
All
it
right.
back.
I've been
We're off.
improving quality of life for my
We just
residents.
committed.
That's the job.
We worthy, we gonna bring
Sure.
back everything we see. ain't we?
You gonna hold Ms.
How
Hall?
are you doing that?
Fine, huh?
You go, and I'll come back and inform you on what's been going on. And just, yeah.
How we
Just
doing?
kind
Look,
of-
look.
I mean, they, she wants
We don't even see no-
Enjoy.
at 8.
Enjoy.
Hey, good.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Good, how are you? That's right. That's right. And if my daughter, that might enjoy it, she thinks it's-
Okay.
You can't let it go, sure.
Thank you.
I said, well, check it, something like that. I have to run to one end of the open house.
I don't know, look, I'm supposed to be meeting some,
It's gonna be outside.
Renardo now.
Oh, how you
Oh,
doing?
class 78.
Yeah,
Yeah.
78?
77, 78, 79.
How are you? Okay.
End.
Yes, fine.
I'm gonna hand on that. Thank you.
Thank you for getting that right.
All right, Santana.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Okay, so
See you